Oh, but speaking of his...
Oh, you got your one bit of news?
Well, I was going to... Okay, it's an unrelated bit of news, but before I saw John Wick in the theaters, they did a Mission Impossible 8 trailer, like a little featurette.
Oh, yeah.
On...
so I was like, this is real. Movies
yeah.
are real.
So this was the...
Movies are real.
This was a behind-the-scenes stunt. He did scream that a lot. They had to edit that out. There's just a lot of shots of Christopher McQuarrie, like, looking at his sound guy, like, can we cut that out? Can we cut this out? Can we? But it's the featurette where we see it's the last part of the previous trailer where Tom Cruise, and it's actually Tom Cruise, getting on a motorcycle and zooming off a cliff and then base jumping in a little parachute. Very close to the ground. And there's a moment in it, and it is like on a big screen. We've seen a lot of it on TV,
sure.
And I think probably people are watching it on their phones. You don't get the scope of it until you see him doing it on a big screen.
Okay.
And it's just the quick pan over the cliff. I'm like, this is terrifying. And there's a moment they do it a bunch of times. They never explain where the motorcycles go, or how many motorcycles they've burned through.
Yeah, I mean. Didn't he do it like 40 times or something like that? So it's 40, right?
Just a graveyard of 40 smashed up motorcycles at the bottom of the cliff, and then they just leave.
Yeah.
By people of Tibet or wherever.
Or wherever we are.
Enjoy those motorcycles.
That's just a reminder that movies are real.
Yeah. Maybe you can make a still out of them or something. But there's a moment where he does one, and then he's like, I think I could stay on the motorcycle a bit longer before I jump off here. I could be a bit closer to the motorcycle before I run the shoot.
Good.
But anyway, I was going to say the bit of fun casting news.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this on Instagram, but Christopher McQuarrie.
Mm-hmm.
A bad little boy.
Oh, is he?
No, he's a good little boy.
Okay, good.
He's like, I'm so busy.
He is very busy.
I gotta talk to my sound guy. Tom Cruise keeps saying movies are back.
And are real.
Yeah, they're movies are real. Movies are real. But he announced that returning to the cast of Mission Impossible is the great Rolf Saxon.
Yes.
Who people will probably best know as
the guy who vomits.
The guy. I'm gonna find his name in this.
He's in Mission Impossible 1.
He's in Mission Impossible 1.
He's the guy at the computer that Tom Cruise infiltrates.
He's the guy. He's the linchpin of Mission Impossible 1 because he's the guy in the computer room that Tom Cruise has to get into and get the data. But, of course, he's in there and he's doing his important computer work. So the Mission Impossible team, the IMF, they have to poison his coffee and make him do lots of vomits and poos.
Yeah.
And then he spends the rest of the movie running back and forth doing vomits and poos.
Do you think he's still doing vomits and poos and that's how he comes back?
I mean, he's got a big beard. He's not looking particularly great.
He was like 39 when he filmed that, which is my age. So that's good.
So, but what's, obviously he's probably, because they're bringing back Henry Czerny, who's the guy, who's the voice of the Mission Impossible like audio tapes.
Hello.
Exactly. Precisely.
It's Mission Impossible time.
Mission Impossible time. Bet you can't do this mission.
He talks when you talk. So like you go to be like, and then he goes, that's Mission Impossible.
Well, but
there's a pause.
Yeah.
And as soon as you go, he goes.
That's great.
Yeah.
But obviously he's going to be back for, probably some small role. Maybe he's a little higher up in the organization now or something like that. But I like to think it's Fast and the Furious style. Like he's been plotting his revenge for 20 years,
Do you reckon he works for IMF or they just like outsource their recording? So they're just like, read this and he's like, all right, I don't know, yeah. Like, is he just a voice actor looking for work?
That's a great point.
He's like, is this for a movie? And they're like, yeah.
I mean, in the first one, he and this is Henry Czerny.
Oh, he's like physically in it, is he? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
The voice guy, as in like the guy's like, this is your mission and whatever.
Yeah, he's back for the new one.
Yeah, but he's actually in the movie.
The first one, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's the guy that Tom Cruise has the conversation with in the restaurant.
Oh, Kittredge,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that was the voice guy.
Yeah, he's the same guy. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm understanding.
Okay, it's been a long time since
Mission Impossible. Yeah. Great. Well, this is all good news, Mason.
It is good news.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's been one bit of news.
That's a couple bits of news you snuck in there.
That's right.
We also got our first look at Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Did you see the jacket? Did you see the? It's a Harley Quinn.
Yes.
It's a Harlequin pattern.
Yes, precisely. Yes.
The eyes in the water. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Bit of fun.
Yeah, it is a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Do you think she's going to do the voice? Like that one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, I imagine she's got I don't know if I've ever heard Lady Gaga speak.
No? You haven't seen any of her movies that she's in? House of Gucci?
I have seen House of Gucci, but
There you go.
yes, that's true.
That's how she talks.
But okay, right?
You
I
haven't
imagine
seen
she's
A
got
Star Is Born?
I've not seen A Star Is Born, no.
Yeah.
But I imagine she's got a kind of New York accent. I imagine she's running that. She is an Italian American
I have
of
no
some
idea.
sort.
I mean, I've definitely heard her
She's one
talk.
of those Italian Americans.
Just sounds normal, and I
Okay.
don't even know what that means.
Okay,
but
right.
I don't remember being like...
I think she's going to use a normal accent.
Okay, well then normal it is. Anyway, I like the look. Let's see where this is going, I guess, aesthetically. She's coming out of a courthouse or something. Maybe she's done some big crimes with the Joker.
She's done a big crime, yeah.
No doubt. But are you looking forward to Joker 2, second
Yes, I am.
Joker?
Yes,
All
I
right.
am.
Because you love the first one.
No.
But you are looking forward to this one.
Yes.
Because you love
No.
the first one. Sorry. I've put those two things together, and I don't know if that's accurate. Mason, you remember how we were talking about Zack Snyder's doing a big reveal?
Yes, what was
There's
the big
There's
reveal?
an announcement related to his DCEU
And
the
was it
trilogy that he made.
Was it a screening?
Yeah, it's a screening. I know we
Terrific.
talked about this a little last week, but it was fully locked in and confirmed.
Nice.
That he's doing a special screening of his version of Justice League and Man of Steel and Batman v Superman in that order. And
in reverse order?
Yeah, reverse order.
Interesting.
And it's going to be
And he's like, it's a new timeline. This is canon now. They run backwards.
It says
That makes Superman and Batman even more enemies now.
Does it?
And everybody's like, yeah, that's grim. That's so grim.
it is a bit grim, isn't it?
They start out as friends in the Justice League and then they become enemies through a reverse fight.
So Superman is alive and then he dies because the Flash kills him with an electric box.
Yep.
And then Doomsday brings him back to life.
That's right.
Okay.
And then he becomes Batman's worst enemy by fixing his car and fixing his armor, which Batman doesn't like. Keep your hands off my stuff, man.
That's for Jeremy Irons.
That's right.
Yeah. There we go. Now, he was asked about a follow-up comic as well, and he said that's not happening as of now, though it had been discussed in the past.
see.
But he is just focusing on, like, Rebel Moon, and also Rebel Moon is getting its own, like, comic and animated spin-off something and whatever. So if you're a Zack Snyder DC fan, this is okay news, I guess.
Okay news.
But if you're a Rebel Moon fan, that's big news.
Well, big news also for Rebel Moon. I believe he said something along the lines of, "Yep, every Rebel Moon movie is going to get, it's going to get the regular release, but it's also going to get a super cool R-rated release."
Oh, my God.
You know, on Netflix.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? Just
Is
watch
it going to cinemas at all?
Maybe. I don't think there's been any official announcement about that though.
Because Apple announced that they're moving into movies specifically to like build their brand of like we make high quality movies and then you can only watch those high quality movies on your Apple Watch or whatever.
Sure.
And I think Netflix need to do a similar thing, whereas where like they did with Knives Out too, but properly.
Yes.
Like release it for like a month and then you can only see this on your Apple Watch or your Netflix watch.
I hope that is the way the winds are blowing because
you need both, right?
Creed 3 is going to video on demand very soon and it's doing really well.
Yeah.
At the cinemas. So
it's bizarre. Yeah. But I think that might be a result of this next month being like John Wick and Super Mario and Dungeons and Dragons. And there's a bunch of other stuff coming where they realize that the return on that is, I assume it's calculated. But if you look at like Puss in Boots.
We assume a lot of things about the movie business and that they're all big smart guys and perhaps they are not big smart guys. Perhaps they are dumb guys like us.
Maybe they are. But I think like if
perhaps they were once smart guys like us and then their brains have dissolved.
Oh, that's possible. But if you look at like Puss in Boots, it's really the only kids movie that anybody wants to see. It's on streaming, but it's still in cinemas. It still makes like $1 million a week just from sitting there doing nothing. It's
true.
That will change when Mario comes out again. But
that is true. Oh, and speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, I mentioned this to you off
is
air.
this a third or fourth bit of news, Mason?
Maybe it is.
My goodness.
Feels good.
We're going to talk about that next week.
I'm on holiday, so I have time to think about bits of news.
Wow.
But I mentioned this to you.
Does that mean I can do less news?
I wouldn't risk it.
Because you're picking up the slack.
No,
so
I certainly wouldn't risk it.
It just seems fair.
Okay, all right.
You know, if I did do less work.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, go on.
There's been a final trailer for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And they've gone the same strategy that they did for the last time that Chris Pine was involved in a reboot, Star Trek.
A big nerd property.
A big nerd property, which is they've, a bunch of us, a bunch of media types, including us, got to see an advanced screening of this movie.
That wasn't a media thing. We just went.
Yeah, we just paid. We paid
We
money.
went with general audiences.
But the final trailer,
dregs.
the final trailer is a lot of critic reviews saying, that's right, you thought this was for nerds, but it's actually for regular people.
It's for you.
It's actually good. What do you think about that?
If it does well,
one of the reviews said it's the most Chris Pine role that Chris Pine's ever done or something.
Wow, that's saying something.
Doesn't make any sense.
Mason, variety is the spice of life, and also this
so
publication.
True. Listeners, that's a little thing you can take with you.
That's right. Tell everyone you know.